Hello. Reports from Israel say that the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants to expand military operations in Gaza because negotiations with Hamas for a ceasefire and a hostage release deal are deadlocked. Well, it comes as hundreds of retired Israeli security officials have written to US President Donald Trump urging him to put pressure on their own government to end the war. In an open letter, the signatories include former heads of the Mossad and Shin Bet security services and also 3 former Israeli military chiefs of staff. Now, in their letter, they say Hamas no longer poses a strategic threat to Israel. Meanwhile, in Gaza itself, the Hamas-run health ministry says that 5 more people have died from malnutrition in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of deaths from lack of food since the start of the war to 180, including 93 children. Hospital officials say at least another 27 Palestinians were killed seeking aid when Israeli troops opened fire at 2 different locations near aid distribution points in Gaza on Sunday. Well, like other international news organisations, Israel does not allow the BBC to report independently from inside Gaza. So our international editor, Jeremy Bowen, reports now from Jerusalem. Just to warn you, his report does contain images of severely malnourished children.
In Gaza, getting food or trying to can get you killed.
It's kids, it's children.
The Israeli military is firing live bullets.
Stay there.
Crowd control. You can hear the voices of the UN team who filmed this from inside their vehicle. They're waiting for a UN convoy crossing into southern Gaza.
Don't do this.
Then they saw the lorries and rushed them anyway.
Check your doors locked, check your doors locked, manual lock as well, safety lock as well.
In Gaza City, the dead from another desperate crowd in the north of the Strip were buried. Their families said they were shot by the Israelis as they tried to get food. Abu Rami al-Masri said his son Wael was killed when the Israelis fired a tank shell. He's saying he went to get food, flour or anything, as we haven't got food. His brother was killed before that a while ago, trying to do the same thing. Children with existing medical problems are among the most vulnerable. Samar Mata is desperate for food for her sons, Amir 4 and Yusuf 6. Both boys have cerebral palsy. Now they're suffering from malnutrition.
Before the war, their health was excellent. They were provided with special meals, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. I used to keep chicken soup in the freezer for them, as well as biscuits and cakes. Now, all these things are unavailable.
Musab al-Dibs was 14 and healthy until a serious head wound in an Israeli airstrike in May left him paralyzed and semi-conscious. Now he's severely malnourished. His mother, Shanaz, tries to comfort him.
You will get better, I promise, okay? Someone will make us lentils.
In Israel, supporters of the remaining hostages held by Hamas blocked roads in Tel Aviv. Their anguish made worse by the latest Hamas video of Eviata David, badly emaciated. The BBC isn't showing hostage videos made under duress. This was how he looked before the war.
Hostages kidnapped
Daniel Lipsich's grandparents were Hamas hostages. His grandmother was released. His grandfather's body was recovered.
And we need everyone in the world to take an action on the image of Hamas and call them to stand in the negotiation table, release all the hostages unconditionally, to bring a ceasefire to Gaza, to continue to flood Gaza with humanitarian aid, and to demilitarize, as simple as it is, to end this awful situation, because we know they don't have much more time.
So you would say that in exchange for all the hostages, it's long overdue then for the government to say, okay, you give us the hostages, we finish the war, we leave?
Absolutely.
In Gaza, gunmen from an armed family protect some aid convoys for money. The fact they're not attacked by the IDF suggests it is with Israel's consent. Gaza's social structure is disintegrating. It's become a place of hunger, chaos, and death. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Jerusalem.
Well, we can speak now to Yonah Jeremy Bob, who's the Jerusalem Post's senior military correspondent and joins us live now. Thank you so much for being with us. Can I ask you first of all about this letter from about 600 former Israeli security officials, retired heads of Mossad and Shin Bet, 3 former military chiefs of staff, all saying to Benjamin Netanyahu they want an end to the war?
Yeah, you've got former Mossad chief Tamir Pardo, you've got former Shin Bet chief Ami Ayalon, several other Israeli military chiefs, and as you said, 600 officials. There's no question that the broad consensus of the Israeli military is, the former Israeli military is to bring an end to the war. Within the current Israeli military, there's a debate about can a little bit more military pressure finally get Hamas to give the hostages back a little bit more on Israeli terms, but there's definitely within the former military community, they want to end the war, even if it doesn't mean that Israel gets all of the terms that the Israeli government would like.
But despite that, it looks like from the latest reports we hear, Benjamin Netanyahu wants to expand military operations in Gaza. Is that what you're hearing?
So Netanyahu has not decided what he wants to do. He's at a very difficult point, right? There was a policy since March until about now to invade more of Gaza, take over 75% of the territory. For part of the time, to block increased food aid. There was an inventory of food aid, but block increased food aid to start the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, as an alternative to the UN. Why? Israel said that it broke Hamas's control of receiving the food aid. All of these things, basically, other than the GHF, have basically fallen apart. The GHF is controversial, but it's still operating. But the policy has to change. The Israeli government now is giving Hamas all of the food aid it wants without getting hostages, without getting anything in return. So Netanyahu has to decide, is he going to change some of his terms, which looks unlikely because he wants to get rid of Hamas in Gaza, or is he going to, as you said, increase the war into some of the spots where hostages are, where Israel knows that hostages are, where it hasn't attacked before? Will it go there? Or will it annex the security perimeter? That's an 1,000-meter perimeter going all around Gaza, which Israel probably was going to hold on anyway in order to make it harder for there to be another October 7th style invasion from Hamas. These are all the options that Netanyahu is weighing. He has not decided yet. He's still hoping that maybe Hamas will come back to the table in the next couple of days.
And it's been said, as you know, many times that Mr. Netanyahu is prolonging the war, or at least not ending it, for political reasons, because he thinks once the war ends, he'll be out of power.
Right, there's a mix, right? He has an ideological commitment that he does want to remove Hamas, but as you said, he has 2 major political partners, Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, who have made it very clear that if he ends the war, they will topple his government, and he doesn't want that. Now, there are opposition figures who have said that if he ends the war getting the hostages back, they'll keep him afloat for some period of months. But he doesn't want that either. He wants the government to go all the way until October 2026. That's the longest it could go for the next election. So there's definitely a political element to this as well.